Just going to give a few moments. There's other people coming in now, and then we are going to get started. And again, a polite reminder, this meeting is being recorded. It is a public meeting, and it will be posted as we're required to do sometime within the next couple of days. I would ask everyone who is on the call to please mute themselves and only unmute themselves when they're speaking or a question is being asked. That'll cut down on the feedback in the background. So we're just going to wait a few more minutes. We have a number of other people coming in. Okay, others will be admitted to the meeting as we move forward. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob DeFore. I am the District Superintendent and CEO of Sullivan BOCES, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our second and hopefully our last virtual annual meeting. I think all of us have grown a little tired of the word virtual, and we're all longing for the time where we can get back together safely and get back to our normal routines. We're almost there, but we're not quite out of the woods, and I appreciate each and every one of you joining us this evening. Last year's annual meeting, we had very little time to prepare for it as we were focusing on other things, which was getting ready for teaching children in a virtual environment. This year, we had a little more time to prepare, so we tried to make this evening as much fun as possible for those of you that are in attendance. The only thing unfortunately missing is the sumptuous meal served to us by our culinary students every year. But we're doing our best to compensate for that, and we think you will enjoy what we have in store for you this evening. So with that, I would ask you please to enjoy the video that's following my comments, and we will start with the pledge. So just wait while we share our screen and sit back and enjoy.
Hi, everyone. I'm supposed to speak after this, but I thought I'd fill in this dead spot with a little information. My name's Linda Berkowitz. I'm president of the BOCES board, and I want to welcome you all. And as soon as Donna cuts me off, it's fine. I'll get cut off, and I'll stop right there. First of all, I want to welcome you, as Bob said, to our second annual Zoom meeting. We all know the meaning of Zoom nowadays, something we didn't, wasn't in our lexicon a few years ago. BOCES will keep this in an orderly fashion. We have a wonderful plan for you. We have a wonderful video made by our students, and we also have, let's see, we also have some wonderful door prizes, which exceed everything we've had in the past. The only thing missing, as Bob said, is a wonderful dinner. Gina, you look like you're ready to go, and your audio is off. And I'm going to mute myself so that you can take over.
Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Class of 10-2. Pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please have a seat and join us for the remainder of the video.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sullivan BOCES Annual Meeting. My name is Dolce McPherson, and I'm from Fallsburg High School. I would like to start off by thanking each of you for all that you do and are continuing to do throughout the school year, and for making BOCES an option for the students of Sullivan County. Throughout my life, I've always wanted to pursue a career in the medical field, and I never really understood how I was going to go about initiating my plan into action. But luckily, I had some help. I was fortunate enough to have 2 classroom visitations facilitated by the Career in Tech program, both my sophomore year in chemistry class and my junior year in AP Biology. The spokesperson went into great detail of 3 medically oriented programs, all of which she explained the expectations, the benefits, and the unique characteristics of each. And although I was hooked on the New Vision program ever since my sophomore year, I had to wait until junior year to apply. I mainly chose this program because I wanted to further my knowledge in possible career opportunities, although the possibility of having college credit and clinical rotations did nothing but help. The coronavirus has rocked our nation in ways that no one could have predicted, allowing us to having to come up with creative ways in order to cope. My teacher, Ms. Frida, and the rest of the staff have done a phenomenal job in keeping the well-being and integrity of this organization. Each of you have gone above and beyond to enhance our knowledge regardless of our current situation, and I couldn't be any more grateful. I applaud the New Vision program for its challenging course load, which is perfect at mending the gray space between high school and college. Attending the Career and Tech Center has surely helped me define my future. Next up is a short video that highlights how Sullivan BOCES is working for you and with you to help educate the students of Sullivan County.
It's hard work for the students of the Sullivan BOCES construction department. They're trying to rip up the flooring in this school bus, but it's giving them some trouble. This group of students says the hard work is worth it. They're turning this school bus into a mobile classroom. They're doing it to help make remote learning a little easier for other students throughout Sullivan County who don't have internet at home.
It's pretty good. Just knowing that some kids don't have internet at home to come to school, have internet, do their schoolwork.
We are BOCES.
Thank you all so much for being so patient regarding the technical difficulties. I appreciate that tremendously. And thank you, Linda, for your help. I appreciate that as well. My name
So
is Jean.
before you go on, Jean, let me apologize. That unfortunately seems to be the only picture we have of an educator getting vaccinated. Somebody took that picture of me, put it on Facebook, and it was the only one we could find. So I apologize that that's what you saw.
I want to welcome you all. My name is Jean Hewlett. I'm the board clerk for the Sullivan BOCES Board of Education, and I'm going to conduct the meeting today. The first order of business is for the approval of the April 2nd, 2020 annual meeting minutes from our last year's meeting. So if I could please have a show of hands of the board members present, of those who approve the minutes as presented. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm also going to introduce you tonight to our candidates for board re-election. Tonight we have 3 candidates up. The first candidate is Linda Fisk. She's from the Livingston Manor School. Linda, if you could unmute yourself and say hello to everyone.
Thank you, Jean. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Linda Fisk, and I'm seeking my 4th term as a board member of the Sullivan County BOCES, and I represent the Livingston Manor Central School. I've been employed by Jeff Bank for 29 years, and I currently hold the position of a regional manager. I believe in the importance of public education, that every student is deserving of an outstanding education, whether it be academically, skilled trades, or on-the-job training such as BOCES offers. I hope to have your continued support, and I thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Our next candidate is Simi Williams. Simi, if you could unmute yourself and say hello.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I just want to thank everyone for their continued support. And this BOCES board, each board member does bring a unique perspective to the board. And I think we work well together, actually great. So I just want to thank everybody for their continued support. And we're going to keep moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Simi. And our final candidate is Linda Berkowitz, our board president. Linda, if you could unmute yourself and say a few words.
Certainly. My name's Linda Berkowitz. I have been on the BOCES board for a good number of years. I have served as president for the past 4 years or so, maybe a little bit more. I believe in BOCES. I believe in everything that BOCES does. I truly do. I think what we do, especially in educating, our special ed children are all going to be educated. There's enough laws in the state to do that, and I'm very happy about that. But I really, truly have great support for our CTE programs, for our library programs, for our programs that help students that may fall by the crack because they're not fitting into any particular little mold. And I think we do a good job of it. And I think we are very lucky to have all of your students be entrusted to us so that we can continue to educate them. I like your support. I appreciate it. And I thank you very much, everyone, for attending tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Linda. At this time, I'm going to turn over the meeting to Susan Schmidt, our Deputy Superintendent, for the budget portion of this meeting.
Thank you, Jean. Okay, like everybody else said, I truly miss seeing everybody in person. I've always enjoyed the conversation that I've had at your tables and interacting as we have walked the hallways and spoken to our students and towards some of our CTE programs. So we've all acclimated to Zoom, and we all know the limitation of Zoom is that we cannot see everybody in a meeting this large. So my ask before I start the presentation is if you have a question, feel free to interrupt me. Again, I miss, you're saying, hey, I have a question, or raising your hand, and I can see you when we're enjoying dinner together. But I have some colleagues watching the chat, so if you either write your name in the chat, write your question in the chat, or raise your hand, they will let me know just in case I don't see you. So I thank you in advance, and hopefully next year we don't have to use the crazy chat and hand raising digital feature of Zoom. So the 21-22 Sullivan County BOCES budget overview. As most of you know, our budget is comprised of 3 components: the administrative budget, the capital and rental budget, and the programs and services budget. I'm going to go into more in-depth detail about each section of the BOCES budget, and I would just remind you that the administrative budget is the portion of the BOCES budget that you vote on, and the other portions of the program, and we'll talk about programs and services in a minute, is really dedicated and developed based on the needs of our districts and the requests that you provide to us. So to just talk about the administrative budget first, similar to school district budgets, administrative budgets, it includes for the Board of Education, for the Office of the District Superintendent, administration, and the business.
Can everyone please mute?
One second, I have to unmute myself. Okay. So unlike a school district, our administrative budget by law has to also include our OPEB expenses, which is other post-employment benefits, and what we commonly know in our budget conversations, both at the BOCES and in your districts, as retirees' health insurance and Medicare B reimbursements. So the proposed administrative budget for the BOCES for 21-22 is $3,187,000 and $187,717. And I'm sorry, I have to move some of you off of my screen because I just blocked my own, so I apologize. So similar again to a school district, the largest portion of our administrative budget is salaries and fringe benefits. And in this particular case, it's a combination of salaries and benefits for our active employees. And then, as I mentioned, we also have to include the benefits for our retirees, which happens to be the single largest item. As you can see, almost 43% of our administrative budget is for the expenses for our retirees' health insurance and our Medicare B premiums. And some have asked in the past how many. We have approximately 150 retirees currently, and we're anticipating about 4 additional retirees as we go into the upcoming school year. Outside of salary and fringe benefits, the next largest portion of the administrative budget is contractual. And again, very similar to you, it's our legal expenses for our attorney's fees. It's contractual or software, contract expenses for our financial systems, software similar to what you use in your school districts for electronic school boards or board docs. So those are the expenses that are included in that line. And then we have our transfer charges, which is our share of our operations and maintenance, because just like all of our COSERs have to contribute to those expenses, so does the administrative portion of the budget, and then transfers for communication, public relations, the brochures, and the documents that we're required to send out, like the budget booklet that you received, and our tech charges and internet charges. If you were to take, and my screen is a little short, so I'm hoping your screens are a little bigger, the OPEB expenses, this little arrow down here would say just over 3%. That's what our retirees' health insurance and Medicare B reimbursements would be if you looked at that as a percentage of our whole entire general fund budget. So when we talk about programs and services budgets, we basically have like 40 to 50 mini budgets within our whole general fund. So each COSER has its own budget, it has its own expenses, and it has to generate revenues to cover all of those expenses. We build our program and services budgets based on the projected needs, your information that you share with us on your initial services request. So the number of CTE students that each district is sending, the number of special ed students, the number of districts participating in our health and safety program. And then we put all that together, and that's what was included in the budget booklet that you received recently. All of that is subject to change because the final portion of putting our program and service budgets together is based on what you put in your final commitments, and those are due to us on April 23rd. So there may be some changes in those COSER by COSER budgets if there are any changes in the requests that you submit to us. So if we look at our entire general fund budget for the upcoming school year, it's just over $47 million. Again, it was built outside of the administrative budget, which is fixed on the district's request for services, and they do fluctuate even throughout the year because, as you know, students can move into your districts and students can move out, so your special ed is billed on actual, just as an example, and that happens to be the largest part of our program and services budget at just over 38%. Our career and tech program is just over 14%. We have about 14 CTE programs that we provide to juniors and seniors throughout the county. Our itinerant services, again, are based on district need. They include both instructional and non-instructional services. That represents just under 2% of the budget. And those are things like a shared school psychologist and our shared food service director and shared PT and OT staff. Our general education line is almost 5.5%, and that includes things like alternative ed, distance learning, GED, Spark, and IDT. Instructional support services, that's school improvement. That's all the professional development and the workshops that we provide to keep district employees and BOCES employees as up to date as all the new changes come out in education. We also have a library services COSER that also supports the school districts and the BOCES. Model schools and learning technology is the newest COSER that has come back to ISS, and that's the tech support that we send out to several districts. So we have very qualified LAN technicians and network administrators that are working under that learning tech COSER and supporting the technology in your districts. And then management services is just over 4.5%. And those are things that are back office, like health and safety, our shared facilities, which is the HVAC and like electrical staff that come out, our central business office, and the telecommunication support, all of the voice over IP phone systems in your district that are part of the BOCES and were purchased by us, and we help support those. And then we do have cross contracts, The great majority of those cross contracts are RIC services from Ulster BOCES that we all purchased, including the BOCES, along with some instructional program needs that are outside of Sullivan BOCES. So our rental expenses for 21-22 are just over $597,000. They include the new Central Administration Management Services and ISS facility, which is on Sullivan Avenue in Liberty. So we're now all on one floor and we're ADA compliant. We are going to be thrilled when COVID is over and we can invite you into the conference rooms and this nice center that was put together. We also rent classroom space from the Liberty Central School District currently for elementary, for our early childhood program, and for IDT. We are happy to share that we should be going back to Garnet Health Catskills, which is the old CRMC, but they renamed, as you probably know, to Garnet Health. And our health occupations programs are expected to return there in September. SUNY Sullivan thankfully helped us out and filled that void as we had to vacate our facilities on the 5th floor of the hospital because of COVID. So we did relocate Health Oc and New Vision over to SUNY Sullivan this year, and they joined our innovative design program and our public safety students who have been there. We did add the modular classroom building. We refer to it as the GMOD, and that currently houses our special ed elementary portions of our program. So there's 6 classrooms down there. And then we plan for additional services. We budget a small amount of money just in case you ask us to develop a program or add something and we are not able to house it in our current facilities. Our capital expenses for our 21-22 school year are $725,000. We just completed the E-wing roof renovation over spring break, so that is done. But as you all know, and I know a lot of districts are doing capital projects, you always have to ensure the envelope of your building, and it is time for us to replace the roof on the A, B, and C wings of our main campus. And for those of you who have been to our campus and you have joined us for our annual meeting, those sections of the building are the first 2 when you walk in, the wing to the right and the wing to the left, and then down the ramp and the C wing where we spend a lot of time in the career and tech area, CTE dining room, special ed cafeteria. So all 3 sections of our building, based on our annual visual inspection, their useful life is coming to an end, and we need to make sure that we replace the roof over those wings. From a revenue standpoint, BOCES does not levy taxes. So our only source of revenue is the fees that we charge our component districts and the non-component districts who also participate in our services. And we do service quite a few non-component school districts in both the instructional and the non-instructional parts of the BOCES. We do have a small number of grants. Periodically, we get individual tuition fees, but again, with COVID, that's less some small interest. And as you all know, there is no fund balance in a BOCES. Any surplus that we have is returned to the school districts at the end of the year. And then I always say that BOCES aid is the bonus. You generate aid on many BOCES services, but not all. So that's why I say that the 10 million, almost 10 million 5 is based on qualified aidable expenses, and it's always on the prior year. So what you spent in 1920 generates the aid that you're receiving in the current year, 2021, and your BOCES expenses for this year, generate the aid that you'll be getting in the upcoming school year. So like special ed is an example of a program that's not part of BOCES aid because you generate excess cost aid on special ed students. So it's always qualified expenses. They have to be BOCES aidable. And salaries are capped at the first $30,000. And that basically summarizes the overall budget for the upcoming school year. I did not see any of my colleagues flag me, and I did not see anything pop up in the chat, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. And I would also remind you that our annual budget vote is scheduled for April 20th this year.
Thank you, Susan. Can you unshare your screen, Susan?
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions for Susan on the budget presentation? Not seeing any hands. So Susan, thank you very much. And Keith, thank you for your input into the presentation as well. As I had indicated, we're going to try to make this as much fun as possible. And what we're going to try to do is give you the experience of being here without being here. So with that, like every other school district in the county, in September, Sullivan BOCES opened in a hybrid modality, bringing kids in on rotating schedules 2 days a week with 3 days remote. As of March 1st, we welcome back all of our elementary students 4 days a week. And as of this past Tuesday, we welcome back all of our CTE students and our middle and high school students 4 days a week. So yes, even though our schedules have been disruptive and our children's lives have been disrupted, they have been working hard in all of their programs, and they have been diligently putting together items for us to raffle off to those who are in attendance. We do this every year at our annual meeting, and it's just a way of showing you the type of things that your kids are actually working on here at Sullivan BOCES. So since this is a very unusual time and a very different environment, we are going to flash on the screen the raffle items, not yet, Gene, one at a time. And I have a basket in front of me with all of your names in it. And then we will have a grand prize at the end. And all of these items can be either picked up at Sullivan BOCES, or we will use our reliable courier system to deliver them to your home school district and charge our districts with getting your prizes to you. Jean will contact each of you in the next day or two to determine your preferred transportation method. And within the next week, we will get everything out to you. So if you will bear with me, I hope you will find this enjoyable. I know our students found putting these items together for your consideration to be enjoyable. So it's kind of a random order. I'm not sure what Jean has on which slide, but we're going to take them one at a time. So Jean, if you would share your screen. Okay, so from our Health OC program, and just bear with me, I need to move my bar away from the top so I can see. We have a custom-made face mask, and the winner is Dr. Sally Sharkey from the Fallsburg Central School District.
Thank you. That is awesome.
Our next item. I feel like Vanna White. Second item that we have is a basket of fresh eggs from our CTE Animal Science program. They will be delivered intact, I assure you. And the fresh eggs go to Linda Berkowitz of the Sullivan County BOCES Board. Linda, I'm going to mail these to you down in New York.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love this one.
Our next item. From our cosmetology program at Paraffin Dip. So it's a certificate for a paraffin dip in our cosmetology program. And this goes to Dr. Matt Evans from the Monticello Central School District.
I've been waiting for that. You know, with COVID, I haven't been able to get one, so I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
You're more than welcome, Matt. Our next item. 2 Bluebird houses that were built by our special ed core program, and the birdhouses go to Dr. Ken Hilton, Sullivan BOCES. Okay, our next item up. Drawing for foyer bench created by our CTE pre-tech program. And the bench goes to Pat Kelly from the Tri-Valley Central School District. And we're all writing this down, so you got to bear with us in between items. Our next item. A drawing, a crayon painting from our early childhood program. And the crayon painting goes to Kathleen Bressler from Sullivan West.
Thank you.
Our next item. So for all of you that miss out on the wonderful, sumptuous food prepared by Chef Papo and Chef Jurgen's students, we're going to deliver a sumptuous lasagna dinner to you prepared by our culinary 1 and 2 students. And this is going to go over well. The lasagna dinner goes to Dr. Ivan Katz from the Fallsburg Central School District, who I believe is on a restricted diet at this time. Our next item. This is an outdoor bench created by our CTE pre-tech program. And that goes to Lisa Fiala from the Monticello Central School District.
Thank you, that's gorgeous.
Our next item. This is a new item. Now, everybody on the staff wants this. This is a creation. It is a tabletop waterfall created by our welding program from our basic welding students. And the water fountain goes to Lorraine Poston from the Sullivan West Central School District.
Thank you very much.
Is that the last item, Jean? Nope, we have another item, a drawing for an herb planter from our natural resource students. And that goes to Kerry Poley in the Tri-Valley Central School District.
Fantastic. Very nice. Thank you.
Now, our grand prize. So everyone who has not won a prize is now being put back with those that had for the grand prize. So everybody is eligible to win. The grand prize, our Adirondack chair. Let me mix these up. Are you ready? And the Adirondack chair goes to Dr. Matt Evans in the Monticello Central School District.
Thank you very much. That's impressive.
You're cleaning up, Matt. Jean, can you unshare, please? So folks, hopefully that gives you a little nostalgia for our last get together in 2019. We thought it would be a nice touch. We try to show what your kids are doing here at Sullivan BOCES. So with that, Linda, do you have any closing comments? You're muted, Linda.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to thank you all for participating again on this difficult way of having our meeting. And as Bob said, hopefully it's the last Zoom meeting we'll have to have as an annual meeting. And next year, hopefully we'll see everyone with some culinary treats. And that would be lovely. Be well, be safe, be healthy, everyone.
Jean, do we need a motion or are we just adjourned?
We need a motion to adjourn.
Somebody would like, Linda made a motion, Carol Bleeper next seconds it. All in favor? From our board members, that seems fairly unanimous, folks. We thank you for joining us this evening and participating in our virtual annual meeting. Next year, it is my sincere hope we will all be together and break bread and enjoy a sumptuous meal. But we try to give you a flavor of what our annual meetings are like. We thank you for your time. We thank you for your attention. And most importantly, we thank you for your support of Sullivan BOCES. On behalf of our Board of Education and all the staff at Sullivan BOCES, thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.